Let's dissect PHP's function documentation using the date function as an example. The date function is used whenever you need to get a date from PHP in any imaginable format. For example, using date, we could have PHP tell us right now it's 4 p.m. or 1600 hours or February 1, 4 p.m. You get the idea. Let's examine the syntax for using the date function. To the left of the function name is a value type in green. This tells you what kind of data this function may return. In other words, what does it give back to you when you call it? In the case of date, it will give you a string back, which is a series of characters. After the function name, in parentheses, it gives you a list of arguments this function may take. Arguments are extra info the function may use to get its job done. Arguments are also prefixed with a green value type, telling you what kind of data that argument should be. So this section here is telling you this function requires an argument called format that is of the type string. The second argument it expects is a timestamp of the type integer, i.e. a whole number. The square brackets surrounding this argument means it's optional. Also, you'll note that it says timestamp equals time. This means that because this argument is optional, if you don't specify it, it will default to the results of the time function, which is another function you can read more about in the docs. Below the syntax guide, you'll see more info about possible arguments you might give this function. Date has a ton of different argument options for format, and every letter here represents a different part of the date. Let's practice by mimicking the date format set on my computer right now. First, I need the day of the week, abbreviated to 3 letters, which is symbolized by a capital D. Next, the month, also 3 letters, symbolized by a capital M. Now the numeric day of the month, a lowercase j. Then the time, starting with the hour. We'll use the 12-hour format without leading zeros, so we want the lowercase g. We'll throw in a colon, and then minutes with leading zeros, which is a lowercase I, followed by a space, and finally AM or PM, which is symbolized by a capital A. Moving down the docs page, you can find more info about what data this function will return, and perhaps the most useful part of every doc page, the examples.